Hey there, Upper East Siders! Are you ready to rank your peers? Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Gossip Girl characters.
You really go out with some guy you don't know?
Well, you can't be worse than the guys I do know.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at our favorite characters from the CW teen drama.
Take a cab, don't walk.
Number 10, Dorota Kishlovsky.
How did you come up with these?
Facebook, I joined a few groups.
This has to be Chuck's dream girl.
We all know who the true unsung hero of Gossip Girl is, and it's not who you might think. The Waldorf's maid, Dorota, may start out as a background fixture on the show, but as the series progresses, she not only proves herself as a loyal and motherly figure to Blair, which she's seriously lacking, but she also shows some serious sass.
What are you doing in my queue?
You and Lonely Boy are having an affair.
There really isn't anyone who can put Blair in her place as well as Dorota can, because no one else is bold enough to even try. We're so happy that her story was fleshed out more in the later seasons.
In Poland, we have a saying. Love is like a head wound. It makes you dizzy. You think you die. But you recover. Usually.
Number 9, Jenny Humphrey.
We're Humphrey's dad. Not exactly royalty uptown.
While her character may have little in common with her portrayal in the book series, TV show Jenny may be even better. When we first meet her, she's a young and innocent girl hoping to break into the upper-class social scene by willingly becoming one of Blair's minions.
Not bad work. And here's yours, as promised.
As this series progresses, however, her character takes on more and more edge, eventually coming to be somewhat of an equal with the girl she used to fear and admire.
Hope you don't expect a hug.
I don't expect anything anymore.
While Little J may have stopped being a series regular after season 3, that didn't stop her from stirring up trouble every time she came back to town.
You are lucky I don't fire you this minute.
Oh, you're lucky that I don't just quit. Because then what would you do?
Number 8, Georgina Sparks.
You can tell Jesus that the bitch is back.
Speaking of trouble, there's arguably no character in the history of this drama-filled show who caused as many theatrics as this one. Georgina Sparks started her run on Gossip Girl by toying with Serena, but throughout the series, managed to manipulate and backstab just about every other character on the show. Her pièce de résistance is when she shows up and tells Dan he's the father of her unborn child.
Congratulations, Daddy. He looks just like you.
It turns out that wasn't true, which we probably should have seen coming. Even Georgina managed to find love by the end of the series, however, with none other than fellow villain Jack Bass.
I am Serena's daddy doctor.
Didn't see that one coming.
Number 7, Rufus Humphrey.
Angry. Change. Trust. Girl.
While in the books, Dan and Jenny's dad may be a weirdo poet who plays a very minor role, the show's creators fleshed him out to be a real character in his own right. Of all the parents on the show, Rufus is probably the one we'd most like to have as our own, because in addition to being super cool, above all, he clearly wants what's best for his kids.
He's about to hype dinner.
Because no matter how good it was, it's about to get a lot better. I've outdone myself with the bolognese.
He's also a pretty great partner, despite being jerked around by Lily Woodsen for several seasons. He's a somewhat pitiable figure at times, but we sure do love him anyway.
I was planning on sneaking out before anyone got up, but Lily and I got to bed so late.
Oh, that's just stop there.
Right.
Number 6, Lily Woodsen.
But maybe we can stop sneaking around. I mean, we've had the awkward run-in and it isn't so bad.
Just like her daughter, Lily Woodsen seems to inevitably attract drama no matter how hard she tries to avoid it. She's not nearly as conniving as her mother Cece, but she also doesn't always make the right choices.
Well, if Serena's indiscretions were as PG as Jenny's, I wouldn't have needed the Botox.
She's questionable in terms of her parenting skills, especially in the first season with her treatment of Eric's mental illness. She's also got a past as an 80s rocker chick who put her baby up for adoption. Despite all that, she exudes Upper East Side class and knows how to use her influence for both good and evil. Add it all up and you've got one truly unforgettable character.
The bastard is untouchable.
Well, what should we do?
Time to get dirty, I'm all ears.
Number 5, Dan Humphrey.
That was a joke. Or an attempted one.
Love him or hate him, he is undoubtedly one of the pivotal characters of this show. Dan Humphrey starts off simply as Lonely Boy, an outsider from Brooklyn, placed at St. Jude's who's trying to fit in, all while being hopelessly in love with Serena Woodsen.
Okay, if you ever wanted something so badly, but you just know you're not gonna get it.
He eventually becomes a stronger character with higher aspirations for himself, but inevitably gets wrapped up in some drama along the way. It may seem unbelievable that Dan was actually behind the keyboard, acting as Gossip Girl the whole time, but we always knew he was more than meets the eye.
And when Serena came back from boarding school, I wrote my first post about me. Lonely boy, the outsider, the underdog.
Number 4. Nate Archibald.
So what did you bring me up here for anyway?
Well, there's no reason. I just wanted to see you.
In the books, Nate is a hapless stoner who flits from girl to girl without ever truly investing himself in anything at all. Nate of the TV show is much more clean-cut, and it's his father's involvement with drugs that is the focus instead. Nate does end up dating pretty much every girl on the show, but his wide-eyed innocence is refreshing considering all the backstabbing that takes place in this world.
Serena, you're the most beautiful, amazing, alive person I've ever known.
Sadly, Nate ends this series without a romantic partner, but he does seem to be considering a bid for mayor, so things could be worse.
I've reread every piece in The Spectator since I started there, and unless Christina Aguilera is mad about our baby bumper Mexican lunch article, I really don't think there's anything in here worth hurting me over.
Number 3. Serena Woodsen.
And knowing them, it won't last, right? I mean, it can't.
You could never.
While she starts off as a former party girl who can't seem to get her life together, Serena is squarely one of the most respectable characters on the show. Unlike many other of her Upper East Side peers, Serena generally attempts to stay out of the catfighting that defines her social circles.
It's such a beautiful day. I was thinking I could take you to one of my favorite spots for a change.
That being said, she's still made more than her fair share of mistakes. Above all, though, she cares deeply about her friends and family, and even though she doesn't always make the best decisions, at least her heart is in the right place. She's the sort of human character you want at the center of a series.
You're free to see other people too.
Well, thank you for the condescending lecture, but that's not really my thing.
Number 2. Chuck Bass.
I'm Chuck Bass.
While watching the first few episodes of this show, would you ever have guessed that Chuck would be one of the most beloved characters by the end of it? He tries to rape Jenny in the pilot episode and is portrayed as a villain for much of the first season.
Hey, Jenny! Chuck, get off of her!
Like with so many flawed characters, however, Chuck is all about the personal growth. For Chuck, it turns out that his feelings for Blair are what made him human, and he manages to turn his life around in order to be with her.
You are amazing out there.
Chuck and Blair end up being the unexpected yet enduring romance of the series, and one which fans were rooting for years.
Your world would be easier if I didn't come back.
That's true. But it wouldn't be my world without you in it.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I'm smart enough to know that getting into a war with Eleanor's daughter is never going to result in a victory.
I would say get a room, but yours is right above mine. Please try to remember that.
Number 1. Blair Waldorf.
I don't love you anymore.
Queen Bee is without a doubt the most important figure on the Upper East Side, and despite her obvious flaws, she was always at the heart of the show. Whether she's actually a decent person is totally up for debate, but this wasn't a show about good people.
Whoever said that money doesn't buy happiness didn't know where to shop.
She couldn't care less about the little people surrounding her and would do anything to keep her place at the top. Blair made everything more interesting with her blatant cattiness, and she even managed to start a fashion trend with her iconic and preppy headbands. Despite all of the horrible things she did throughout the show, we're still glad that she got her happily ever after.
I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.